What has been the sort of the general feedback? I know you talked a little bit already about sort of like the brand packaging and website experience. So I know you've gotten some, but what has been the general consensus from people about things like that?
So if anything, this is my opportunity to really recommend Danielle's work.
Thank you.
I have to say, like, it's really been such a, I would say, it's such a pleasure and such an honor to work with Danielle. She really took my brand from like 0 to 100. And,
Oh, thanks.
I will say, like, I really do appreciate all the work that you've done. The one thing about me, I think I'm like a lot of people where,
Mhm.
you have all the ideas in your head and it's all floating around, but having somebody like you be able to translate those ideas into something concrete and not something that's like all over the place, or you have bits elements here and there, and
Mhm.
just making it a cohesive package makes all the difference. And throughout like the entire time since I've launched, a lot of customers have spoken to me about how much they like the branding, the photos, the vibe.
Mhm.
They just really, really connected very well with it. And I think that if anything, the incoming and regular sales so far probably are kind of a testament that branding really does work. And
I'm glad to
I
hear. Yeah,
really,
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah, I really see. I would really believe that if your company has a strong brand message, people I think are willing to pay a little bit of an extra
Absolutely.
premium for it.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily about the money, but it's about the trust and the relationship that you
Mhm.
establish with the customers right off
Yeah.
the bat. And
Yeah.
I think it's the first thing that they see.
So what was important to you to capture? So when it came to sort of your thoughts around packaging, and packaging was such a big part of this project, it really was
Packaging is a huge part of the
a
project.
big part. I always say I don't think people quite understand like what goes into packaging when we first think about it. Like you now see this really beautiful these boxes of lily pads, but you didn't see all the stuff that Elaine and I went through on
Oh,
making
we
sure
had
the
so many versions. There were like at least 10 versions, I
at
remember.
least 10 of each one. So,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot goes into it because you have to consider, you have to consider so many things with packaging. We had to consider, okay, if you're selling this out of an online shop, this is what it will look like. But what if this is on a shelf? What do they
yeah,
need to know on, if it's stacked on a shelf, what do they need to see and know? What
yeah,
criteria do you have to have on it? What warnings do you have to have on it? What has to be in the insert of the box? What
yeah,
has to be, what are the packages like, what are the actual products being wrapped in?
yeah,
So there was a lot that came to packaging in this project. But
yeah.
what was the most important thing for you when it came to packaging? What was it really important for you to capture?
I think, well, aside from all the legal like and
Yeah.
regulatory framework that we had to navigate through,
Hmm.
I really just wanted to have packaging that people could appreciate, especially for period products, because
Yeah.
I think that when you go to the drug mart or drugstore and you're browsing through period products, I'm gonna be honest, most of
Yeah.
them look like they're very like,
I don't know.
yeah,
I know.
sanitized. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like it looks like you're
What did
buying
you use?
sanitized. Like
Yeah, that's a good
meaning
word.
like, they it's like a pad in the front of the box, or it's like in bright pink or like bright
Yes.
blue, and then
And the
they
pad is always like floating and like it's like,
specifications.
yeah, like, oh,
And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, if I had to go to like, hypothetically a drugstore
mhm.
and like go through the aisles, if I see like this packaging, I want to pick it up and I want to buy it, even if it's like, a couple extra dollars more.
Mhm.
And I think that was kind of the philosophy that Danielle and I kind of went
Mhm.
into designing the package. Is like, what do women really, really want? And here's the thing that I think is a major disconnect with the big companies, with I guess like with lily pads, and why there's such a difference is because whoever came up with the marketing for the big companies, I think they're looking at it like a car. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this car has like 420 horsepower. It has like, the best engine, the best motor,
Yeah. Leather seats.
leather seats. But, as personally for me, going into the drugstore, when I'm looking, I want to look at nice packaging. I don't want to find something that's obnoxious.
Oh, it is really obvious. And like, just the packaging, like, I think with packaging too, when we sort of approached it, was that we talked a lot on this in the beginning about sort of, we wanted something minimal. Like we didn't want
Yeah,
something obnoxious. We even talked like, we don't want a pad right. Like we don't need a pad
yeah.
on the front of the box.
there's no need to have a pad at the front. Like, I,
No, we don't.
if you know
Yeah,
the brand, you'll know what it is.